Diffusion Lab by Ayush, Malika, Archita, and Rayon. For this experiment, you'll need 30 drops of iodine, 400 milliliters of water, 2 teaspoons of starch, 2 pieces of dialysis tubing, 1.5 feet of string, 2 600 milliliter beakers, 2 100 milliliter beakers, a graduated cylinder, a dropper, a popsicle stick, and 2 clamps. To begin, fill 2 600 milliliter beakers with 200 milliliters of water each. Add 30 drops of iodine into one of the beakers. Add 2 teaspoons of starch into the other beaker. Make sure to stir both solutions properly and wash the stirrer in between. Using the smaller beakers, test to see how the starch reacts to the iodine. As you can see, it turns an inky purple color. Cut the dialysis tube into 2 sections so that both sections are 6 inches long. Tie off one end of each tube using string. Fill the first tube with 10 milliliters of iodine solution and tie it off at the top. Fill the other tube with 10 milliliters of starch solution and tie it off at the top. Make sure that both ends of the tubes are tied off securely to prevent any leaking. Next, place the iodine tube into the starch solution and the starch tube into the iodine solution. Clamp the tubes to the top of the beaker using paper clips and wait 15 minutes for your results. After 15 minutes, the starch solution has turned slightly purple, which means that the iodine in the dialysis tube has diffused outside into the starch solution. The dialysis tube full of starch that was placed in the iodine solution has turned purple as well, which means that the iodine on the outside has diffused inside into the dialysis tube. The iodine solution remained yellow after the starch was submerged, but the starch turned blue-black. This means that the water from the iodine solution diffused into the starch dialysis tube, indicating a hypotonic solution, more water, less solute. Water molecules also moved from its high concentration in the iodine dialysis tube membrane to the starch solution where it was low in concentration, tinting the starch blue-black and indicating a hypertonic solution, less water, more solute.